ago. They've been together for 5 years. That's that same tat. Yeah, my boy in that bitch putting her to work. Ain't no way.
I was supposed to be back in a month. She stayed with me for 3 months. I had 3 surgeries. Each month I had a surgery. And then I had a bone infection, so I got a PICC line in my arm, which y'all don't know about. That junk is about this long.
Like, he never tried to be like, oh, just because I drink, you can't drink, or you can't hang out with your friends.
Welcome back to Fame Drop, y'all. It's one thing when folks gossip about your relationship, but when whispers turn into so-called receipts, all pointing to the exact same thing, oh, that's when it gets real messy. Right now, fans are dead set on the idea that Travis Hunter and his wife, Leanna, are covering up a cold-as-ice bedroom situation. And some think that's the real reason those cheating rumors keep popping up. This isn't some random internet theory either. From pregnancy speculation, to wedding clips that scream no spark, to her own past words about him not being her type, the internet's been stacking this tea like it's an open case file. And now, people swear the way she pulled away at their wedding reception was her saying, without saying, that he's just not doing it for her in the bedroom. The deeper you scroll, the more every little moment starts lining up. And that reception was the spark that set the whole thing on fire. Picture this. Everyone clapping, cameras everywhere. Travis leans in to kiss his brand new wife, and she whips her head away in a flash. Subtle, sure, but not subtle enough that people missed it. That split second went viral fast. Some tried to say maybe she just didn't want to smudge her lipstick, but plenty of others called it a cold, silent nah. And with all the other rumors floating, folks weren't buying the lipstick excuse for a second. They took it as a sign. And if you've seen that clip, you know why everyone's talking. That's when the comments went from curious to downright shady. People writing, she refused the kiss but took the ring. Or, this love feels like a business deal, and her real man might be right there watching. The more that video replayed, the more it fed into every awkward moment fans had already clocked. Because honestly, who pulls away from their own husband at the wedding reception if they're actually craving him? At least, that's how the crowd online is reading it. For plenty of them, it wasn't just about the kiss. It was about what that missing kiss was really saying about everything else between them. And just when the kiss dodge clips started bouncing all over the internet, boom, another storm rolled in. The pregnancy rumors. People swore up and down that Leanna looked pregnant in certain wedding pics. TikTok detectives were running wild, doing side-by-side comparisons, zooming in, circling her stomach, and slowing down clips like it was an episode of a crime show. And if you think that's an exaggeration, nah, fans were literally treating the wedding footage like a blockbuster movie trailer, convinced a baby announcement was about to drop. Enjoying the video so far? Smash that like button and subscribe to Fame Drop so you're here for the next one. Now here's where it gets spicier. Travis and Leanna both stepped up and shut the whole thing down, calling it baseless and saying people were just reaching. Maybe they were right, but for a chunk of fans, that denial didn't erase the theory. It just made them ask bigger questions, because if she was pregnant, then the next bomb would be, was Travis even the father? Some even started whispering that if the spark had been dead in the bedroom for a while, that might have left space for someone else to slide in. And once that pregnancy angle got in play, every other rumor got louder, especially when the internet remembered they've got plenty of old clips locked and loaded to match their chosen storyline. For Leanna, the moment that resurfaced was an interview where she flat out said Travis wasn't really her type when they first met.
I just didn't respond to him. He wasn't my type. So then I left him.
I wasn't her type.
I left him in my DMs for like 2 months, and then finally I answered him. But I didn't want to like be nothing. I just wanted to just be friends.
Fans clipped it, remixed it, and threw it back in the mix with captions like, "This makes her look even worse," and "She's a terrible liar," and "Travis is a major simp." And some didn't stop at looks. They claimed maybe she wasn't into his whole vibe from the start. Their theory? If there was never that instant pull, then the spark might have never lit at all, which could explain why she sometimes seems distant in public, why certain moments feel staged instead of romantic, and why those bedroom rumors just won't fade away. And right when this clip was blowing up all over again, another old video dropped. the very one that first sparked the cheating speculation. It was an old clip, this time showing Leanna at a party, dancing real close with another man. And just so we're clear, this wasn't some fresh post-wedding scandal. The footage was from way back, but the timing of its sudden comeback, it made it feel like brand new drama exploding all over again. And in case you missed it,
for the trap, 260 for that trap, 260 for that jab.
Yep, this is the video everyone's been passing around. In the footage, she's smiling, leaning in, clearly relaxed and comfortable with the guy. And on TikTok, that was all folks needed to stamp it as evidence. Comments flooded in like, ain't nothing worse than finding out the woman you love is a 304. So sad, man, to, he needs to run. Now, do we actually know if anything happened? Nope. But the optics? They hit different when the running theory is that she's both emotionally and physically checked out of her marriage. And that's where outsiders start connecting dots. Travis, total homebody, all about football, training, and kicking it at home. Leanna, she's the opposite. She loves being social, stepping out, and soaking up the nightlife. And she's even admitted it herself, talking about nights where Travis just waited in the car while she was out having a good time.
The first thing that ever stood out to me about Travis was that he never tried to change me at all. So like I said, I met him in college. He was in high school, and I obviously I was in the middle of outgrowing partying, but I still partied a lot. And he, I don't know if y'all know this, but he doesn't drink at all. Like, even though he's legal to drink, he doesn't drink. And I'm Hispanic, so I have tequila in my veins. So I drink. I don't drink a lot, but I drink. And I used to party and stuff. And he would literally drive me, sit outside for hours while I'm inside partying, and then take a.
Now, nothing wrong with couples having different styles, but when one person is living the quiet, predictable life and the other is out networking, showing up at events, and running with a whole different crowd, people notice. Fans began saying that's exactly why she's often spotted without him. Sometimes it's not even about trouble, it's just that they don't roll in the same circles. And then there's the Heisman ceremony, the moment many point to as the launch pad for the cold wife talk. Travis was up there in the spotlight for his big moment. Everyone in the room on their feet cheering, except Leanna. She stayed seated until Coach Prime literally nudged her to stand. It lasted seconds, but when that clip hit social media, it spread like wildfire. People instantly jumped to conclusions. Some swore she looked bored, while others insisted she was just trying not to steal attention from Travis. But by then, the cold wife narrative was already in full swing. Either way, that image stuck. And from that day on, every single time she stepped out in public with him, people were locked in on her body language like hawks. The crazy part? If you watch the full Heisman video, she actually claps and cheers. But nobody cared about that. The internet had already frozen that one frame in time. And to them, it was the proof she wasn't into him. Once that label got stamped on her, it didn't matter what she did. Folks were primed to see the worst. And that's exactly why, when Travis finally stepped in to defend her, it spun into its own headline. He shared that she had cried herself to sleep after all the hate, and that watching her break down hurt him just as much. He made it crystal clear that he didn't see her behavior at the ceremony as disrespectful, just a bad-looking moment caught out of context.
She killed, she W girlfriend. She made sure I was able to use her car. She let me come over when I wanted to get away from my family. Stay the night with her. She had her own money. She bought me all the food that I wanted. She always been, she learned how to cook for me, chat. She didn't even know how to cook before then. Y'all see I get to play every night, right? I get to play every night. For the real supporters that been here, y'all see me get to play every night.
But you could hear the frustration in his tone, because no matter how much he tried to explain, the internet refused to let it go. Some people gave him props for standing by his wife, but others twisted his words into new theories. Stuff like, why is he defending her so hard if there's nothing to hide? Or, sounds like he's trying to cover up something way bigger. It turned into one of those nightmare situations where speaking up only added more fuel. The trolls doubled down, and even people who hadn't been paying attention before suddenly started digging up old clips just to see what the fuss was about. And after weeks of being front and center in every TikTok theory and sports blog headline, Travis and Leanna straight up vanished from the public eye. Both of their accounts went dark. No new posts, no updates, and Travis barely showed up anywhere online. Then he finally broke the silence, explaining why he's not on social media anymore. And if you've been keeping up with the rumors, you already know that only made people talk more.
For y'all information, I'm still not on social media, so whatever y'all say,
it don't matter. It don't matter.
It don't matter.
It don't matter.
Never know. They're all. You cannot get in touch with Travis unless you text his phone.
The official story? The hate had gotten way out of control, and they just wanted peace. But for a lot of fans, that felt too neat, too clean. Word on the street is that Leanna allegedly vented to one of her girlfriends about Travis not being able to keep up in the bedroom. And somehow, that little bombshell started sneaking its way into comment sections. And honestly, if that's true, you can't really blame the man for disappearing. No dude wants strangers, or worse, teammates, scrolling through posts and reading those kinds of digs about him, especially when the whole internet is already watching his every move for anything that might prove their favorite theories. But here's the twist. Once they ghosted, it totally backfired. Instead of cooling down, the speculation went full throttle. People took their silence as a straight-up confession that something was really wrong. And suddenly, every old clip, every awkward moment, every single rumor got stitched together like it was part of one massive scandal script. By now, this wasn't just about a dodged kiss or old party footage. It was hitting Travis where it hurts most, his bank account. Word online is that when he and Leanna tied the knot, they skipped signing a prenup. And here's where it gets risky. They got married in Tennessee, and Tennessee's alimony laws can get messy. Depending on how long you've been married and the circumstances, you could end up paying a lot if things fall apart. So picture the scoreboard right now. Fans saying Leanna's interest in him has faded, whispers about her being close with another guy. Some even point to a Jaguars player. And now a marriage setup that could cost him a chunk of his rookie earnings if it ends. That's not just losing your wife. That's losing your wife and your wallet. And whether the cheating rumors are true or not, the internet's already labeled him the biggest loser in this whole mess. A marriage people think is crumbling, a PR nightmare he can't escape, and a financial arrangement that's basically ticking like a time bomb. But the detail fans can't shake? A lot of them think all of this started behind closed doors. Because if the bedroom really was the first thing to crash, maybe everything else we've seen has just been the fallout. And what's coming next could blow this entire story wide open. So now I've got to ask, what's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button if you're deep in this saga, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss what could be the next big twist.